Hello viewers, and welcome to our first look at the Ride demo, which was released today on the PlayStation 4 and seeing it in action. I've not played Ride since last year, and of course here we see the intro screens. Nice sort of relaxing menu screens as our man sort of chills out, taking in the view and the surroundings here. Very nice and calm it is too, and a shot of the bike as well. First things first is presentation appears to be very slick in the game so far. I was just saying I haven't seen it since last year, so it's moved on a very long way since then. A lot of this wasn't in there. So just going in for a quick race. This video is pretty basic. I just wanted to play it, get a video up for you guys. You can see there, bike, track, options. We're just going to go with the default, which is really easy with all assists on. And then I'll have some more videos just looking at the different handling options and all of our usual details as well. And you're going to see some videos on the channel with some of the other circuits that appear in the game. So here we see the loading screen. It's all very reminiscent of a sort of a Forza Motorsport and a Gran Turismo really. Loading times are apparently shorter in the final game as well, so one point of note there. I haven't edited out the loading times simply because I wanted to sort of share with you guys just one complete experience on the demo to see how we get on. And we'll of course have more coverage on Ride coming up in the next few days. Looks at some of the other circuits, some of the other bikes, usual coverage you can expect from us. But for now I'm sticking to the racing bike, and then we'll look at the other two bikes that are also available in the demo as well in the coming days, and a bit more a look at the replays and multicams, stuff like that. So here we see the environment. Arizona, having a race round. And my chap there's just sort of sitting around, minding his own business really. Chilled and relaxed, waiting for his race. And here we have the opening screens. Look at that, looking lovely. Nice reflections on the bike, detail, nice detail on the leathers. Biker actually looks fantastic, has to be said. So first impressions are, okay, it's moved on quite a long way. We can see detail there. There have been, you know, general detail improvements in the environments. You'll see some tarmac changes and stuff like that there. Not quite as much as I would like at this stage, but either way it's nice. The field of view is very long, as you can see for miles. So it gives it all a nice sort of flowing nature. I'm using all assists here, and the AI is set to very easy, so it's not going to be a challenge for me. And this of course uses the standard handling model, so it's not quite as nimble as the advanced ones we'll look at, the pro ones we'll look at in the coming videos. Generally speaking, environments have a nice solidity about them. I look at the mountains there, and they're very sort of drive club in terms of the solidity of them. That's not a bad thing. It gives them a nice look, and the lighting's well implemented as well. Good feeling of speed on some of these sections. I'm using the behind biker viewpoint. I'm not going to change views in this video. I just wanted to play the demo really and get used to it. I tend to ride from behind the biker on bike games. Why? Because you don't control. I find when you're racing a car game, you become part of the car. When you're racing a bike game, you're not. Your ride is always very separate. I like to see how the bike's behaving. It's a different sort of approach. So I work my way past the field. So the objective of this video really for me was to simply overtake everybody, see what the handling's like, and then just go away and see how fast I could go with this handling model. Obviously to hit all of your apexes and racing lines will take time. The racing line indicator here was reasonably effective. The auto braking was working well. I was braking as well as relying on the auto braking. I find that you still need to lift and be mindful of your control in the corners. Also, you know, not too oversensitive when it comes to corners such as this. You know, it's a long corner. You can find yourself waving about a bit if you don't get it just right, or you try to lean too far in. Takes a little bit of practice on these things, but overall, control's quite well balanced. It just has an initial understeer like you see there. Just trying to cut the bike back in can be a problem at times. Okay, nice to see the view on sections like this, stretching for miles. So visually it's okay. It would be nice if it ran at 60 frames per second, but that's just me as a gaming purist. But as for the mass market, that's not a massive deal. The mountains and all that and the lighting is all very nice, and the biker models are excellent. Biker animation is good as well. Handling, I'm going to analyse further. This wasn't a handling analysis as such, this was just a case of getting it round. I was more concerned about what it's like for a beginner to pick this game up, because it's nice that a lot of you that watch this channel are more experienced racing fans, but the general public can't play games to save their life sometimes when it's stuff like this. As I fly off the bike, was trying a slightly different approach there, didn't work out for me, so I think I locked my wheel when I was braking, it just went off. It would have hurt if you were the biker then, I have to say, but never mind, it's a video game. I'm back on the bike again. So as I was talking about general public not being that good, and I fly off the bike myself, but there you go. It's always a case of making a game that's approachable, but then when you turn all that off, you need a challenge for the expert gamer or the dedicated biker as well. So we look forward to seeing some of the different environments. As I complete this second lap of 3. So you're always learning a lot on these laps. Getting to this first corner, I've not got it just right. There's always a sweet spot in all these corners. And if you get them ever so slightly wrong, you just can't pull it back in again. So the slow in, fast out mentality is the one that really works for you. I've got the wrong mentality for it, clearly, but it's just a bit of practice. How's it improved though since I saw it? Well, lots of details have improved. Generally, I mean, you've seen obviously the environmental changes have moved on quite a bit since the early build. Bike has moved on quite a bit in terms of detail as well. Audio, we haven't talked about the audio much at the moment. Audio sounds to be okay. Again, I'd need to try the different viewpoints, listen to the replays a bit more before giving an opinion on that. It's not, you know, Gran Turismo 6 levels of vacuum cleaners, that's for sure. I would still say though that there's always that compression. I just wish there wasn't so much compression. A little bit more distortion would go a long way in audio, has to be said. But that's a personal opinion on how the audio should be recorded. So coming around these final few corners. No crash this time. I learned from the last lap, don't take the corner that way. And for those of you that haven't played many racing games, do a time trial, do some laps. You'll be amazed at just how much you improve with a short space of time. Just about stopped myself crashing in the wall there, some last minute braking. Tried to get on the power too early, but my man is happy, he's won, he's standing up on his bike. Look at that, good man. So there we are, that's the end of that first race, and we can see the bike model there looking lovely. There it is, very nice, lots of bike models. Looking lovely. So let's take a look at the replay option at the bottom there, you can see, and we'll go to that and then see what the replay is like. Very quick look at the replay. We'll do more of this no doubt, but this was just as we had the opportunity very quickly to get this up to date for you all. You can see how the replay is looking. So lots of bikes all running well. Of course, this is the PS4 version, so going okay so far. Of course, the easy AI. So a range of replay cameras, not necessarily where I would place them in terms of TV quality. You know, they're nice enough, but they're not quite as good as, say, the MotoGP cameras from last year, which would still be preferable for me in terms of what I like to see in these games. And that's usually positioning the cameras at the end of straights, so you get the bikes coming all the way down. Of course, that always means that you might see the LODs changing on the bikes which are often why the car game developers do the same thing with replays and show these short shots rather than long shots. High speed corners there though, down the hill section, looking for the way past these guys. This is where I go around here. So replays looking good, they show off the bike well. You know, not quite TV replays, bit of jerky camera movement. But at least we have replays in the game, that's the main thing. We're taking the lead now. Nice reflections on the bike there as well in terms of detail. That's very lacking, that corner there I find. Does look very flat in terms of the environment. I wish there was a bit more in terms of variation there. And the surface wasn't so flat. I think the road surface is the one thing I have a major bug with on this game, is that it is very flat. So just looking at some of the replay options now, for this last section of the video, and just seeing what I can do. So you can select any rider, you can do slow motion, there's photo mode, and I just wanted to take a close look at the bike model. It takes a bit getting used to, because normally you'd use the triggers to do slow motion, whereas on this you use the sticks, which can be a little bit tricky, just holding the stick in exactly the right position. I found it slightly easier with the buttons on, say, MotoGP. But nice detail on the bike, the rider, the tyre. I think in that sense the bike sort of stands out a bit from the background, because the bike is on another level completely in terms of detail compared to the background's actually racing on. But you can see there all the detail on the bike, chain moving, everything else. Really, really nice detail. That's a nice long shot. The bike comes around. A bit more tarmac detail there would have been nice. Made the shot look a lot more authentic. Either way, looks pretty good. And again, a nice view there. You can see all the mountains in the background. It's nice to see. And then of course you have your photo mode as well. I haven't mucked about with any of this yet. This is literally doing it for the first time, and I didn't even know what button it was to take the photo. It's X, it seems. So maybe I did take a photo, because I'm sure I pressed X, but we'll wait and see. And that was meant to be a photo. I pressed X and it didn't happen for me, so maybe it's something else. I have no idea at this stage, but either way, it looks very nice. And if you're big into your bikes, then you're going to take lots of photos of lots of bikes. But that's it for this brief look at the demo. If you haven't downloaded it yet, 4.7 gigabit, big file. Get downloading it now, and you can race some of the ride game for yourself. 2 circuits, 3 bikes, lots to see and explore. But that's it from me for now. As ever, more soon.